Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Terminator issue 41 and 42 tonight. I'm terribly sorry we're late, but I'm sure my co-host might fill you in. Here's my co-host.
Hello, everybody. I'm so sorry we're late. It's all my fault. A little quick nap at 5 o'clock turned into a phone call at 8 o'clock saying, "Where are you?" My bad. So, looking forward to this week because we haven't done anything for 2 weeks, have we?
No, right. Do you want to put the shared screen up again? Option?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I forgot to share it, didn't I? My bad.
Yes.
Right, you have to forgive me, guys, today because my computer's really slow for some reason. So, if I go to change the instruction and it takes ages, it's not because I haven't done it, it's because my computer's really behind. So love minis are saying, what do you call a fake noodle? An impasta. And how many apples grow on a tree? All of them. Very good. I actually was going to have I thought I'll try and have a couple of prosthetic limbs. It's too expensive. It's going to cost me an arm and a leg. Sorry, that was awful, wasn't it? Right, so today we are doing issue 41, which is fitting a vertebra and casing. So the first part we have is the vertebra spindle, which looks like, I suppose the best way to describe it is a cog on an axle.
Yep.
Oh, I got a great joke for you.
I did have the parts ready. I did have them ready.
What
put them back in the package and put them down again.
It's all right. What do you call a small midget who's escaped from prison?
I don't know. What do you call a small midget escaped from prison?
A small medium at large.
Right.
That is the
41 is metal.
Plate. Metal, is it? I'm guessing from that cog bit on the side, it's probably going to need to be. Is that cog on the side, or is it just grooves?
It's just grooves, basically. You find.
Okay, right. So piece number 2, vertebra. I'm really struggling to read that. I'm going to make it a bit bigger. It's because my laptop's quite far. So it is a vertebra casing deeper.
Right, that's this one.
That's obviously some kind of rubber.
And that's the type of.
I can 3D print it.
Yes.
Right, and then you've got another vertebra casing, piece 3, which is a shallower one. Personally, I would have used thin and thicker myself, but I'm sure shallower.
Well,
you
find it's probably saying different one means higher ledge, and as they said, a smaller one, and that's plastic.
So the next piece is the vertebra connector, which looks like a circle with 4 screw holes sticking out.
Yep, that's this one, and that's metal.
Lovely. So we're getting value for money today, then, are we? We have a vertebra small, which looks like half a square box with a hole in the middle.
Yes, and that is plastic.
Okay, plastic.
Well, we say we can't believe it's not metal.
We can't believe it's not plastic.
All those sort of words.
Yeah. So, and then 6 is a vertebra larger.
Yes, and that's this one here.
Lovely. Is that? I can't believe it's not plastic as well.
Correct.
Okay. So then we have 5 M3 spring washers. So is that 4 and 1 spare or 5 plus? I never can figure this one out.
Well, we've got 5. So basically, we're saying one being spare, so we need 4 of them then.
Okay, and then we've got 5 PM 3x6mm screws, of which 1 is
Yes.
spare. And I'm going to
Correct.
guess if we've got 4 washers and screws, that's got something to do with piece number 4.
Yes.
I might be wrong. So, step 1 is to fit the vertebra casing, piece number 3, which I believe is the deeper of the 2 rubbery bits, and you fit that into piece number 4. Note that parts 41.3 and 41.2 are similar. Part 41.3 has a shallower recess and should be positioned recess side up as seen in this photo, so that the edge of the rim of part 41.3 is level with the rim of part 41.4. Okay.
Pretty simple, just like.
So this is I'm going to guess is the cartilage in the spine system.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Bit like, well, you've got a bit of cartilage in the shoulder joint, you've got a bit of cartilage in the neck joint.
Okay, well, it says it should be positioned recess side up. That looks like recess side down that you've done.
Recess it up.
Yeah. So most of it won't be touching the bottom.
But the diagram actually showing me it's that way up.
Okay, let's have a closer look. Oh, you're right. You are right. Yeah. It says recess side up. But the picture there, as you can see, if you look really, obviously you lose a little bit on camera, but you can clearly see a little rib on the card. Okay, that's interesting. So, what are you going to do? You're going to do it as per the model picture. I mean, it's not.
Well,
you're not gluing it in.
Recess side up, basically. No, let's say recess side upwards. Basically, if we got it that way, it is correct what they're trying to say.
No, that's fine. Okay. So we'll step 2 is to fit the longer shaft of part 41 into the hole in the assembled parts 41, 3 and 4, which now makes sense that the way you've done it is correct.
Guess so. That
Because
just
obviously
slots in there like so.
There, isn't it? Okay. Right. So that's stage 2. So Fleetwood J, am I off the hook now? Because Fleetwood J is later than me. Right. So take the second.
Well, it depends what Fleetwood J's been doing.
Okay. I've been very busy, very busy, putting the worlds to right in my head. Right. So we take the second vertebra housing 41.2 and fit it over the short shaft of the vertebra 41.1.
Something like that.
Yeah, to encase that housing.
Well, so you reckon that part is wrong. If I actually turn that around.
No. Right. Okay, go and buy the instructions. I would say it's wrong, but as soon as I saw stage 2, I would have said that's correct without knowing what stage 2 was.
Yeah.
Because that little ridge will provide a little housing for that to go into.
Yeah.
So, I think
that there down nicely, and that fits nice and snug.
Yeah. So, okay, so step 4, this shows the vertebra case. the rim of the part butts up to the rim of part 41-3, which is inside the recess of part 41-4.
Yes.
Okie dokie, looks nice. Right, I have clicked the button now. So step 5, place the assembly issue 40 on your, you can access part, have the assembly from step 4 ready as shown. And this is where I think it looks a bit rude, because those little joints on the bottom, they look like short legs. What's
Yes.
does anybody watch American Dad?
No,
Right,
I don't.
American Dad, there's an episode where he lost his legs and they grew back, but they take a while to come back, so they're only little. So you've got this big muscly guy with these little short stumpy legs, and that's what that reminds me of. So where you're about to insert that piece from step 4 would be his butthole. So you can see where my mind is playing tricks on me now, can't you? So step 6, and that's because when I saw that picture, handle of the screwdriver, but I didn't see an arrow like shove this up there. So anyway, sorry, I'm being really rude, but I'm making sure this channel isn't for the under 13s, aren't I? We want to take 4 PM 3x6mm screws and fit an M3 spring washer over them. Align the spindle on part 1, 41-1, to face the front as shown by the blue arrow. Fit the screws into the 4 holes on the underside of part 41-4, circled, and tighten to hold the part in place. As described in issue 39, if the springs are a tight fit, squeeze them around the screw with a fine nosed pliers. So are we all happy that we are entering, we've woken up to a new political, well, the same old political regime? Fleetwood J just said Joe the policeman, but our man in charge is now Boris the Nutter.
So I'm just quickly putting spare parts away. Right. This one can be try it on that way.
So
it does not matter which way around this one goes on.
No, it matters which way round that spindle is. But would I be right in assuming that that spindle can rotate?
Yes, this will, yes.
Right. Because that what it says in the instruction, it needs to have, that's it, like you've got it there. But obviously, if it's going to rotate freely, then you probably want to be focusing more on the screwing than the positioning of that spindle.
Yes, or give you some ideas. No pointless, like, let's say if there aren't actually 2 marks on it. If it was only 1, and it was like at the bottom, when you come to fit the next part onto it, you'd have to end up rotating it, and it depends how free it is to rotate.
Right.
That's why they're making a suggestion, right, okay. Just reminding you, right, okay, when you put it on, it's got to be roughly in this position.
Yeah. Dave just said he's just popped on to see if Adrian and Penny can build me a new spine as mine is worn out. Well, I wouldn't ask us, Dave, because we can't agree on recess up and recess down. So you might be walking bent over upside down.
So I'm just quickly trying to find my screw head I'm looking for.
Well, I think the funniest news that's come out of the election is Diane Abbott, who's in such a rush to get to the polling station that she put two left shoes on. You know, two different shoes, both the left feet. So maybe she should be on next season's series of Strictly Come Dancing.
My apologies, everyone. I haven't got my screw head right.
All right.
Right. One spring. I'm just going to put that in there to take a bite for a moment and go around, do them all slightly. Then tighten them all up. And of course, like all part works, if you've got a screw in each corner, do one and do the opposite corner. And it should hopefully mirror the other two.
Dave says Boris collects and makes model buses, so he's one of us. At risk of turning this into a political show, I'm just happy that one person didn't get in. I didn't. It was like a case of I didn't care who got in, so long as this one person didn't. Well, two people I didn't want in, and one of his promises was to jack up minimum wage so much that I think the country would just fall to its knees.
Right, all four of those are done up nice and tight.
Lovely.
I gradually went round and
Just put them in enough to bite and then tighten them up on the next pass.
yes, done a bit more and then gone round and finally tighten them all up.
Excellent. So that's a little piece added, and that is the stage complete. You should have two spare parts.
Yes.
So the next vertebra have been fit to the base of the, oh, is that word again? I thought we got rid of that word. Thoracic cage. The other two vertebrae supplied, 41.5 and 41.6, will be used in the next issue, which looks like, well, will look like this. So is that a spring or a screw thread on there? Let's find that, shall we?
Yes.
So that's cover. Right, so I'm going to have to bang this up. So the question is, we've got 3 parts.
Penny, either your mic's not working or I've frozen. or one of us is interacting afterwards.
Am I back?
I'm sorry, everyone, at the moment.
Hello? Hello, I'm back. Am I?
Hello, Penny. Yes.
Right. So these 42, 1, 2, and 3 are known as vertebra smaller, vertebra medium, and vertebra larger. So looking at the magazine a little bit closer. Am I still on screen share or done? Oh, okay. So looking a bit closer at the magazine, they do look slightly different size, but you got to kind of look at it. So
yes,
I would probably get them out and order them, place them all on the table. I'm going to guess they look metal, but I'm going to guess they're plastic like the other two.
correct. Yes.
Right. Okay, and that intriguing little piece is called a spinal cord, which is quite an interesting name for it, isn't it?
Yes.
So is that a solid piece?
Actually, it's not a solid piece.
Right. Oh, I like it. So what's that made of? Is that metal?
Yes. I wouldn't know the name of it, but I have a large one.
Okay. That looks like a seat spring.
Here's a larger one.
So what's that larger one for then? Is that a piece of something or?
Yes, it's my.
It's right. Okay, it's one of those. Okay,
It's one of
that's
those.
interesting. So, and that's called spinal cord. So we don't need a lot of imagination to figure out where that's going.
Correct.
Not, and there is a. Sorry, guys, might be playing up a bit today. Right, so you will also need the parts 41.5 and 41.6 supplied with the previous issue, plus the assembly from part issue 41. So I'm guessing this is going to be quite a simple build this week, but looking at the quantity of the parts, it's going to be quite significant.
Yes.
So step one is the largest vertebra, 42.3, on your work surface, and then position the next in size, 42.2, on the top, so that the rim on part 42.3 fits into the hollow in part 42.2. So
How they're going is those there is sitting into those there.
right, so you're not going to be able to put the wrong piece on then.
No, because that one there
Good.
won't fit onto that one there.
That's too small, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
Brilliant.
If I go for the second one up, that won't fit on because.
Oh, brilliant! So this is fairly idiot proof then, is it, or penny proof?
Yes.
Okay. Nice.
And by looking at the last one, the first one we got a bill from, looks like there's going to be another one of these. Because we've got those little ridges there.
Well, that makes sense. Someone remind me how many vertebrae is there in the spine? I can't remember. I used to know, because I know you get certain experts that they say where's the pain, and then they count the spines, and from where the pain is, they can figure out roughly what the problem is. So step 2, no surprise. Note that the fit is not tight. There is a wobble room between the vertebrae. Next, take part 42.1. So, right. Yeah.
Me demonstrating.
That's going to be intentional because the spinal cord does move. So, fit vertebra 42.1 on top of vertebra 42.2. And the next piece to add is 41.6.
One from the previous issue.
Yeah.
That one pops onto there.
So those little shapes on there, they're actually like little hinges, aren't they?
Guess.
So step 46 is to position vertebra 41.6 on top of vertebra 42.1, and the next piece will be 41.5.
Guess. And that's the last one, like so.
And then step 5, the 5 vertebrae are now assembled with the smallest 41.5 on top of the pile. And if you had 2 issues, you could now have a game of Hanoi Towers. Okay, so step 6. Take the spinal cord 42.4. Note that one end circled has a narrower cuff than the other. And it looks like the left-hand side is the narrower cuff.
Guess it is.
I may be wrong. Right. Okay. So step 7, fit the narrower end of the spinal cord through the center of all 5 vertebrae so that it is at the top. Place the assembly from issue 41 on your work surface. So are you going to insert from the bottom, since that's where the alleged narrower cuff is?
Yes. Actually, I'm going to feed each one onto it in certain order, because I basically already had a play the other day, and
You cheated, did you?
yeah, I just wanted to check something out, sort of make sure I did get it right around. Because 1 or 2 of these, the hole is slightly tight. Because this one, as you can see, I can just wobble it around and it won't go down.
I'm going to read you a message that someone just sent me. I said, Fanny Craddock's husband says, if you follow Fanny's recipe for mince pies, when they come out of the oven, they'll look just like Fanny's.
Right, the top one, I'm actually going to place, actually fit down onto there.
Okay.
Then I can see when I'm screwing that one into the next piece, I can see how it's going in.
Yeah, okie dokie. So, right. So step 8 then, fit the top end of the spinal cord 4, into the open end of part 41.1. Tighten the part 4 by turning by hand as indicated by the arrow. So yeah, there's a little screw thread on there, wasn't there?
Guess. And by putting the top one in, I can see if it's going in enough. And
that makes a lot of sense, Adrian.
right.
Dave Miller's saying use pliers.
What the fun, make sure it's nice and tight.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I got a pair of clip.
We could use that. What's
yeah.
That
yeah, it's type of thing, yes. It depends if some of it actually turns all the way up, sort of thing. Doesn't it, though? Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't get because they have got a flat edge there, sort of thing. Right.
So given that spindle is metal and the part that you're screwing it into is metal, would oil have helped?
Right. I think it's turning that. Hang on, no,
Oh,
that wouldn't be
yes.
turning that, would it?
So do you think Dave Mill might mean use the pliers to hold the spindle down?
Actually, no, it wouldn't be turning that, would it? It's just that it's centered anchored at the top.
Well, no, if that spindle at the top is rotating freely, then it's
It can't do.
right. Can it only go so far then?
Yeah.
I think you want to hear the song so far.
No, I didn't. Stop. Sorry, my I changed the wake word on my my little annoying little thing, and it's just decided to pick up what I was saying.
Because not by getting up there and seeing if that is the top bit turning, I wouldn't know. Because I don't. Because I think the center of it's probably got a spring in it to actually bend it around,
Right.
and I could be twisting, bending the spring inside. So basically, I've done it a couple of turns,
Right.
and I can't really turn it back. I don't want to turn it anymore, just in case if I damage the internal side of it.
Yeah. Having said that, yeah.
It does look. It's all the way up there, and looking inside.
Yeah.
Hang on.
I would just worry that that spinal cord isn't on, the whole vertebrae. We're in business now. We've got.
I can't see a gap there, so basically all the threads at the top's gone.
Right. Okay. So it's in as far as it'll go then. I mean,
Yes.
obviously those little squares they need room to move.
Well, yes. I think you find there's one more to go at the bottom. So basically,
Fair
I
enough.
think there might be one more go on there as well. As I pointed out, there's those little ridges there.
And the thing is, because we've not glued this in, we've only screwed it in. If it turns out to not quite be right, we can always take it apart and redo it. Now, I'm not asking you to take it apart, but do you think it would have been possible to have put that spinal cord on before we screwed that down to the thoracic cage, or would the vertebrae have got in the way?
I reckon they could get in the way.
Right. Okay. So, are you happy enough with that step?
Yes, I am.
Okay then, and oh, that stage complete.
Complete.
That's really built. Expert is growing fast.
Yes, it is.
And needs to be stored carefully. We found that a plastic underbed storage box lined with bubble wrap was a convenient shape. What you probably want is right. Oh, hang on. Dave just said something. Just as I got a notification come up. Top bit is too far down. Dad, can you put my shoes on? No, I don't think they'll fit me. So, next week, we start working on the pelvis.
That is not on.
Right, Dave Milner saying it's not on right. He says the top bit's too far down.
No, mine's all the way to the top. It is.
Right.
All right, we switch
Dave
back to the
Milne, when you
cameras.
say top bit, do you mean the vertebra or the actual spinal cord? Because he might mean that the vertebrae need to be pushed up a bit. Will they go up?
No, they're all up basically.
Right.
There is, well, that is on their tack basically.
Right. Okay.
It could be a moment ago when I was looking. did have them down for a moment because I was looking in there, seeing if the
Right.
screw was incorrect. Because we can't anchor those at the very anchor them until we get the final one at the bottom.
The next ones, which might just push them up.
Yes.
Where are we actually up to in, as far as the news agents are concerned? Are you
Yes, we
bang
are.
up to date? You're bang up to date. So we don't actually, right, grooves in the top vertebra. Oh, Dave, do you mean that where they've slipped down a little bit?
Does he mean that point there?
Or you might mean the way that they're fitting in. But I think, from what I can see, it's where they've got nothing to support them. They're drooping down. Once you get the next bit, that might just push them up a bit.
Yeah, it could be. Once we can anchor them all,
Yeah.
and when we can start playing around, it's
No, it looks fab. I think I can see what he means. If you look at the gaps between them, the first two have got a bigger gap than the one between the third and the fourth one. And I think that's just the way that they're sitting.
yes. Because if I do that, it closes it all up, and if I do that, it opens it all up basically.
I think that's what he means.
If they're slightly clipped together, you don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know if all could be one of these could be different molding, and it could be not quite right.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Do you think it might be that one of them's turned around the wrong way? Or are they absolutely identical left and right?
You're identical basically
No, yeah, because of the gaps, the little tabs
because
on.
of the gaps
Yeah.
and the tabs at the back.
Okay. So I suppose the thing really then is to see what happens next issue or next couple of issues.
Yes.
Because looking at the parts for the next week, it looks like we're not going to add anything to the model. What we seem to be doing lately is working on a couple of issues and then adding that to the main bit. And I would say, looking
Yes.
at this, that's what we're going to do next week. We've got top left, that looks a little bit familiar. That's a bit of framework, isn't it? And then that will get screwed to the piece at the top right. And then the bit on the bottom right is obviously plastic because it's on a sprue. And the bottom left is some screws and nuts. So that's, I'm guessing, would be used to fit the two top parts together.
Yes.
And then the issue after that will add to it, and possibly that will be that bit done, or maybe there'll be a bit the week after.
Yes. Well, another piece might be gets fixed to that.
Dave Milne has just checked his. It's okay. It's just slack in between the vertebra. Yeah, that's what I wondered. So, yeah, so return of the screwdriver next issue. So that'll be handy. That'll be good.
To me, that looks like probably 2 pieces of metal and 1 plastic piece molding.
Yes. Yeah. Possibly a cover for the screws to make them look a little bit prettier. Or maybe sit in the box till the week after.
Yes, that's sometimes what we get is You bolt, yes, we might bolt the two metal bits together.
Yeah. Because the one of the problems with this bit, I'm going to use the word problem, because they're good quality metal parts, you're not going to get as many parts each week. So it'd be lovely to have like the entire arm in one issue and then the entire leg and the entire pelvis, but you just need cheaply manufactured parts to be able to do that. So we are going to be building small sections over 2 or 3 weeks. So unfortunately, it looks like next week is just 4 screws and that's it. Are you still with us?
No, I'm still here. I think we're going to be well, we're going to be screwing 3 screws.
3 screws. Oh yeah, because they've given us 4.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because we've got
of
3
course.
nuts and 3 nuts
And 5.
and total 5 screws. 2 different screws.
Yeah. You've got 3 long screws, 2 short screws, and 3 nuts. So
Yes.
interesting.
So we might be bolting the 2 pieces of metal together
Yeah.
and could be screwing one of the plastic bits on. Or both pieces of plastic on. We don't know. That's what I reckon.
Well, they look like covers to me. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll do the screen share again, so you can bring it up if you want to. Right. Let's make this ready for the speculation bits. So these look like push-on covers to me. Because they look, if you turn them over, they look like they'll be flat. They don't look like holes to me. So I'm looking for bits where they might fit. It might fit on that bit there.
Yeah,
But,
sorry that image is not very clear enough.
yeah. I don't think they'll fit onto this piece anywhere. Let me move more. I'll see if I can get them. Right. So, can't quite see it, but this piece here, I'm looking at these 2 screws there. They look, you see, you've got one, oh, maybe they will screw in. But that's going to make a very odd shape, and there's 2 of these and only 1 of those. Unless one goes on top and one goes underneath. I don't know.
Well, at the moment, we're speculating at the moment.
But you know what? I think they're going to be safe till later. Because this is obviously one half of the pelvis, isn't it?
Yes.
So I think we're going to bolt these 2 together with the screws. Quite why we need so many screws, I don't know.
And I reckon one of these could be for the right and one could be for the left. Could be. So I reckon we might screw one of these plastic bits on, and the other one will be kept for next issue.
Could be. But I think the following issue we'll do the same again, but there'll be a mirror image, and then that will be that part. There might then be
probably,
another
and that week probably was something else. Basically, is we might use one of these plastic bits the week after.
Yeah, but because we're reaching a point where we basically need 2 of everything, whatever we do, we can bank on doing it again at some point.
Yes.
So yeah, no, that's looking good. Looking very good. Damn, I put a clean t-shirt on just for the show, and I've just spilled coffee all down it. Oh dear. missed my mouth. So then, Mr. Adrian, what have you been up to?
Me? Oh, scanning magazines in the last week or so. Getting them up on the internet. Did I do the Root Master one? I don't know. I have to check on that.
Oh dear, what a shame! I'm on holiday. Oh, I'm not on holiday, so I'm on long weekend, and it's jumpers, Christmas jumpers now. So mine's going to get dusted out. Has anyone seen my Christmas jumper? Oh, look at my shirt. That really shows up, doesn't it? So, have you seen my Christmas jumper from last year?
No.
Would you like to?
Okay.
I think it's the best Christmas jumper ever. Let's see if I can find it. There it is. 3 years old now, this jumper. It's only been worn 3 or 4 times. Ta-da! It's got a stain on it. It's got a bloody stain over it. Anything was probably from last year. Oh. Smells lovely, actually. Don't know how long it's been in the wardrobe, but it still smells nice of the last washing powder I used. So I have been working on, for fun, a Baby Yoda. I don't know if I showed you this on Wednesday.
I think
This
you
is
did,
one.
I think you did talk about it.
Yeah, but his arm didn't come out properly, so I've reprinted him. But I printed him with more walls, and he's actually come out solid. And he's actually quite heavy. So a lot of you will be going, I ain't got a clue what she's on about. But I can show you a little bit better what the final project is. On the bottom there's a hole which a magnet will go in, and this is part of the crib. I stopped the print because I didn't do enough top layers. I don't know if you can see there, but it hasn't come out solid there. So I thought I might as well stop it. But this is a little pod, and that's got like little blankets and stuff in, but that'll actually come up so that you see it starting to build up there. And then with the magnet, obviously put the magnet in there as well, and he'll stand in the pod like that. And then on the bottom is let's see if I can find that. I think I still got the tab open. So I need to buy this, which isn't really that expensive, I thought. There we go. So this is a magnetic levitation machine with an LED, and this disc there goes into the crib, and that will float on top of this. I have no idea how it's going to work, but it's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yes,
but not many pictures of it, and there's not many pictures of it working. But the only trouble is I haven't got the money for it this week. It'll take 20 to 40 days to come. But I've got to reprint this anyway because I've just got to put more layers on it. But if I do it in any more top layers, it'll take about 2 days to print. But this needs a lot of cleanup. What I actually did was this one I printed this way up, and his arm didn't come off properly. This one I printed upside down, and the ball's not quite round, but that can be sanded. But there's a lot of roughness on the top of his head, so that's might need quite a bit of cleanup. But if I get this print, this will take about 2 or 3 days to print. But it was just, I thought it was quite interesting that I think it was Love Minis had said to me about painting. I said, I just don't get time to paint anymore. So I thought, a little painting project. So it'll be just good to just sort of chip in there and do a couple of hours every so often. And once Disney Plus hits the UK, I think the whole world will go mad for Baby Yoda. Just the people in the UK don't know. The only people who know about Baby Yoda at the moment in the UK are the people who have illegally downloaded Mandalorian. So if I asked you if you've seen it, your official answer would be no, I've not seen that.
Nope.
I bet you probably genuinely haven't.
Correct.
So yeah, it's been announced today that they have now released Baby Yoda merchandise, but they hadn't released it any sooner because it would have just given spoilers. You know, obviously, if you get, like, for example, if you get a new movie come out and then you see in the shops toys for sale linked to that movie before the movie has come out, you know, it can act as spoilers, can't it?
Yes.
So that's why they've held back on the merchandise. But it's not cheap, actually, some of the merchandise. There was a little cuddly toy available for like 28 quid. And I thought, well, that's not unreasonable. And it turns out this toy's about that big. And I thought, no, I wouldn't pay that much for that. So
It depends where you get it on. I was watching a program where suppliers can't sell stuff on Amazon, but other people can go into distribution centers, buy Holo stock, and sell it on Amazon. A lot more profit. So basically, if dealers can't put stuff on Amazon, so why can't the manufacturer do them? But when it needs to be posted, it could be posted at the local dealer.
yeah,
Amazon could actually write and do it that way. It cuts out people.
Sometimes they do things strangely, and sometimes it's to protect. I know. I think I've got this right. Games Workshop, that you won't become a retailer for Games Workshop unless you've got a bricks and mortar store. And I can't remember what the rules are on selling online. You can only sell certain stuff online, and I guess that's to protect their own sales because they deal mostly online. They only have one. Well, they have their own stores, but obviously, so it's like if I made a product and I sold it online primarily, I would want to sell to a dealer to get my product out, but I probably wouldn't want them selling it online because I would want to protect my own online side of the business. So I don't know.
No, I'm saying someone's actually going to dealers, buying this item.
Yeah.
I think it was about $45 to $50.
Right.
They were selling it on Amazon for $125.
Wow.
And they've had 27 views already.
Really. Wow. But I mean,
I am saying basically either producers should actually register the barcode on Amazon for a certain price. Right. Yes, we produce this product. Here's the barcode, and this is the retail price.
right. Have they gone to the dealer in America and then sold it on Amazon UK?
I think Amazon America.
Right. Okay. Oh, I don't
Because
know.
they're $1 billion.
Right. Because Mandalorian's not out in the UK because Disney Plus isn't out in the UK, and Disney Plus is the only place you can see it. So I'm guessing that they're not releasing the merchandise in the UK for the same reason that they weren't releasing it before in the US. But obviously, internet is a global thing, isn't it? So obviously, as soon as you release it in the US, could also be for marketing reasons. There could be a lot of people that have been watching Mandalorian because you've got these VPN service things now, haven't you? So I'm guessing if I paid a price for this VPN thing, I could then get a subscription to Disney Plus, so I could already be a genuine fan of it. And if you know what some people are like, they want to be the first to have the merchandise. So some people, and you know from Partworks, people will pay 10 times the going rate just to get it first. I mean, look at these people that camp out for days for the latest iPhone.
Yes. And like some people get their iPhone, open the box up in front of a camera, and
Yeah. You see that video of that guy that got the iPhone, and then he opened the box and then he dropped it on the floor.
I've seen so many sort of things.
So I've just reminded myself of another joke. Did you know that if you got up close enough and smelt it, the candle from a flame smells just like nose hair? So, I'm going to have to have a quick look. There was a joke that really tickled me. Because, I think it was a rude one. So probably not repeatable. Oh, what's going on with me Wi-Fi today? So much wrong with my tech today. Right. Okay. So, any comments then, guys? I'll tell you what I did watch, actually, was a guy called Punished Props. He made a Mandalorian helmet out of foam. And I'm looking at it, making it, and I'm thinking, well, that ain't going to be very good. And then when he finished it, it looked absolutely amazing. But he actually made a Boba Fett mask as well. And I don't know if I'm a fan of Boba Fett anymore, now that I know what the Mandalorians are really about. Because Boba Fett is a fake Mandalorian. So we don't do fakes here, do we? And who needs Boba Fett when you've got Baby Yoda, floating in a pod, Baby Yoda. Sorry, there's so many people that won't get that. Next time I'm watching World of Wayne and everyone's throwing the suggestions of the next partwork, I'm just going to write in big capital letters, Baby Yoda and the pod.
I wonder how many issues that could take over. It depends how big a model they have, doesn't it, though?
Well, they could, I suppose, actually do full size, because Baby Yoda apparently is about this big. It's not very big, roughly about the size of a football or two. Because I was looking at scaling this up to do full size, and this would fit on the print bed, but the pod wouldn't. And God knows how I'm going to get a levitation thing to fit a full size pod. But I reckon the pod is about that big. Can't get me all in, but roughly about that big, judging from the way it's floating next to the Mandalorian. So yeah, it's not that big, but the actual full size Yoda is only about that big. So I guess he'd be about half that size, would he? Because a newborn, well, he's 50 years old, but he's a child and he doesn't speak. So how old is I suppose he's about the equivalent of about a 2-year-old. So 2-year-old is about 2 foot, 2 to 3 foot, 2 foot. So that would make Baby Yoda about 12 inches by comparison. So, which is not really very big at all, is it? It's that big. So maybe I should do a big one when I get my big printer sorted out.
And that, when you got them running, you can build an extra large one.
Yeah, actually, do you know, I'm so tempted to make another YouTube channel called Print with Penny, and just have live YouTube videos of my prints, because people seem to love them. You know, no description, nothing. It'll just automatically upload a video. No one will know when it's going live. It'll just pop up on your screen. Print with Penny is broadcasting whatever, and you could just sit there for a few days watching it. So, but I've had a couple of prints on the go today. I'm sure I did some. What did I do this morning? Oh, I did some feet for my trays. Did another big batch of them. They just screw onto the bottom. My little racks where I put my screw pots and things. But I've got on a new key holder. I saw it and I quite like the look of it. It's a key holder. It only holds 3 keys, but it's got a push out bit for it holds a couple of mini screwdrivers, so you can use it as a screwdriver. It's got a USB stick, and it's got a little box inside for like small storage compartment. And he's currently working on an LED light for it as well. So I thought I'll just whip a quick print out, and I'm also doing a. I'll show you this actually. If I can find them. Oh, I've got so many open tabs. Right. So this is what I'm what I'm printing at the moment. It's a multi-compartment key holder, and you see it's got 3 keys there, a USB stick. It's got a bit at the top with some like multi-tool bits, and then there's a little compartment there. There's the actual compartment. That's probably a better view. It just looks a little bit of fun. And trying to find the other thing I'm doing. Oh, that's the. Let's see, I've got so much crap on here. Oh, I don't know. It's somewhere. It's somewhere. I've really got to clear this drive out. There it is. Wow stick or something? Something for the wow stick anyway. Wow stick stand. Wow stick station. That's it. Right. Let me bring this up here. So it's not very big, is it? Very small pictures. It's just a little stand for the wow stick. And it has all the bits. Really good picture, is it? Let's see if I make that bigger. But this is more usable for when I'm actually working with it. There we go. So you got a little section for your bits, and then you've got a couple of bits for your spare batteries. Obviously mine doesn't use batteries, but you've got spare batteries if you need. A little working tray there for your screws. This little hole in the side, apparently it's so that you can peep through and see what head you've got on your screwdriver, which doesn't really make much sense to me, but it's there. What you do, it's got a screw-on bit on the bottom that you fill with something heavy, and then you screw that lid on. But it's quite useful because it saves an awful lot of print material, because if that bottom bit was enclosed, it would fill all of that cavity with infill. So yeah, just fill that with sand or something, soil, whatever, and then screw the lid on, and that'll just, because obviously if you're gonna have a heavy wow stick like that, it's going to risk pulling, knocking it over. So, but yeah, that's just something. What's this? That doesn't look like. There we go. Sturdy sand when filled. See through what bit is attached. So, oh, I see. It's just got all the stuff. Don't know what that picture was. But it just seems to have the same. Oh, I see. It's got what? Where's all that come from now? Oh well, right. Just pressed the wrong button. There we go. So yeah, just some fun stuff I'm printing off. The joys of having more than one printer means you can do more than one thing. So, and that looks like it's almost done actually. Oh no, it's halfway through. So, anything exciting you're working on, Adrian?
No, just doing the bus, doing the Terminator at the moment.
Yeah. So we've got a tractor show tomorrow, haven't we?
Yes, and doing the tractor as well.
Yeah.
We're doing stage 10, aren't we?
Yes. No, 9.
Oh, sorry, yes.
I don't know.
Sorry,
Just see. I know we do them in blocks of 3, and tomorrow's going to be the last one of the 3. That's why I thought it was 9. So yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So it's yeah, because obviously we spent 3 weeks on doing crappy little bits. So obviously we're doing steering. It's quite good fun actually. I've ordered myself a servo tester on the basis of the comments during the show. It's only a couple of quid. I actually ordered. I'm glad I ordered 2 because I ordered something else that I thought was a servo tester as well. But it's not. Well, it says ESC servo PPM tester. Now, obviously, I have a lack of knowledge of electronics, but I can't get it to test a servo. I thought what a servo tester does is you can set it to different modes. One is that you can sweep it backwards and forwards, and another one is to set it wherever you want it. And it doesn't do either of those. So,
have you tried the wheel on the side of it?
There isn't a wheel on the side of it. So I think I've got something else. So it's only a few quid. But I have ordered, let me just find eBay. Jason gave me a few links to things and I have ordered, but it's obviously a Chinese item. It's very cheap anyway, so it must be a Chinese item, but right. So, oh, hang on. No, I haven't.
On the left of the device base, you have power going. On the right, you have the power going in, and the servo go in.
I think I might have ordered the wrong one. It looks like I haven't ordered. Oh no, I ordered it from Banggood, didn't I? Or did I? Do you know? I can't remember where I got it from. I don't even know if I've got it now. Actually, to be honest with you. Sorry, doesn't help that my computer's slow. I did order it from Banggood. I know I did.
Like a similar one to that one you got, but that's
no. I've ordered. No, I haven't. Right, I've ordered something else from Banggood. Right, I obviously haven't ordered it then. Right, I obviously didn't order it thinking that that one was a better one. So I'll be honest with you, that won't get ordered before Thursday now because money's a little bit tight. So yeah, I'll get. But we're not in a rush to get the servos tested anyway, are we? So and there are other ways to do it. So
Well, before we start putting it all together, we can just until the near time they're there, and we need to fine tune the wheels. Then that's when you're gonna need it.
yeah, yeah. So but I did say on the stream things will need adjusting. But there's 3 points to adjust it to. But obviously, we need to get the servo roughly centered. If it's not centered, we can always adjust. Because obviously,
Yeah.
once we plug it all in, it should all reset, shouldn't it?
Yes.
So that would be the obvious way to do it, wouldn't it? Get all this, get it all plugged in. But we'll because when it comes to plugging it all in, we haven't got a lot to do over the 3 weeks that involves getting it all finished up. So we'll be able to sort the servos out then. So yeah, it's not going to be a problem. So
tomorrow we got doing the tractor. Sunday we don't know at the moment.
yeah,
Unless Dave says he might be doing a show, we don't know.
Yeah, if Dave's doing a say, brilliant. I might not even do this, but I might do a Harley show because I'm falling behind again. I did a couple of months, and I can't do any more until I get a certain issue. I got my latest Millennium come through. Pack 10 or 9 or something. I can't remember. Sometimes they stick stickers on. Let me find the label, the invoicey thing.
Yeah, normally say on the invoice.
But this is the first. They finished the series up. You get 5 issues instead of 4. Yeah, this is like the last 3 or 4 months. So pack 21. So I've got 3 more packs to go. So I'd like to try and get caught up within the next 3 months, so that when I get the last pack, I'm ready for it. And then once the Millennium's done, I'll start on the DC3, which isn't going to be for another 3 months. And that one will be a monthly update video. Obviously, we've got the Harley I want to get finished up. And they're so close. There's only 3 months left till they're finished, which is only 12 issues, 15 issues. Wow, I'm just so excited now. So what are we going to do when all these part works finish?
Well, it depends what comes out in the new year, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm a little bit worried about. I've got 2 part works coming to a finish. I don't need to replace them because I've got the replacement. So although it's made me short of money getting the DC3, that's it. It's done. I've paid for it all now. I know we've got the Ecto 1 coming out, and I am going for that one. But it's a case of trying to resist anything new coming out. I don't mind D'Agostini releasing stuff. They can release as much as they want because I can always do those at a later stage. But the Harchette builds, they have to be done then, or you lose them.
Yes, that's it. It's a shame they can't after. If they have all enough issues in a box, why can't they do? When it's the end of the sale, basically, if they've got enough issues, basically, why can't they put an offer on?
Yeah.
First one's first served. Price for all the issues for this price.
Yeah. But I'm also hearing that the Agostini are going to start doing Harchette's previous builds. So once Harchette finished with it, it goes over to the Agostini. And I'm also hearing, I saw it on World of Waves channel, that there's going to be a new partwork company coming out. So I would suspect that that would be an absolutely fantastic partwork, because for your first one, it's got to be good. Otherwise, no one will ever buy your second one, will they?
Yeah, they got. Yes.
So, who knows? If anyone's got any sniffers on that one, please tell us. We'd love to know. I kind of secretly hope that it's something that's no interest to me at all, because I want to cut back on the part works. I just can't resist them now, and I do enjoy doing the 3D printing. Some of the projects I've got that I'm not doing. I've just seen one. The same guy who's done the R2D2, he's brought out BD1, which is only about that big, and there's a few electronics and some heavy duty. I mean, those servos we bought for the tractor, if you think they're expensive, you should see the servos that you got to get for BD1. But I can actually print each stage on one entire print bed on the Ender 3. So it's like the left leg, I could stick that on the printer, go to work, come home, and it'll be ready. And it's just, and that's the sort of stuff I'd rather work on. Because then you work on it at your pace then, don't you?
Yes.
So, so what are you waiting for then, part work wise?
Me, not at the moment. I'm not. I'm just concentrating on the ones I got at the moment.
You haven't got anything on your wish list then?
Nope, not at the moment. No.
Dave says he's not doing this Sunday, so it's free if you or anyone wants it. Right, I will try and have a little hunt. I'm not going to guarantee I'm going to do a stream, so if I do a stream on Sunday, it'll be a bit of a surprise one, or that'll be a semi-surprise, because if I tell you I might do a surprise stream, does it make it a surprise stream? I don't know.
Well, you're making that because you haven't decided which part you're going to do.
I haven't decided whether I'm going to do it, and I've got a load of other stuff that needs doing as well. I've got 2 days off. Well, I've got 4 days off, but I'm working tomorrow. I won't get a lot done tomorrow because by the time I get home, it'll be almost ready for the show. So that gives me Sunday and Monday. And if I do anything Sunday, then I'll have to put it off till Monday, the other stuff I've got to do. So the sensible option is to get everything done on Sunday, which means I won't have time for stream. If any of that made sense, you're probably a better person than me. So
it depends how long your job you want to do on Sunday takes.
It's an all-day job, and it's I've got to put some shelving up and sort a room, not my bedroom, but outside. I've got to sort that out. I've been saying I was going to do it for weeks, and you know, I keep saying, oh, I'll do it, and then I'm like, oh, I've got a holiday coming up, and I'll do it on my holiday, and then I don't get it done in the holiday, and then I'll go, oh, wait. So it's been about 2 months since I've been needing to do it. It really needs to get done, and I've got some moans about some people in the house, and I can't moan about them when they've got stuff to moan about for me. So, oh, I had some reassuring news yesterday. For the first time in 18 years, I pulled a drugs test. Excuse me. I pulled a drugs test at work. It was actually quite worrying because obviously I have people who smoke cannabis in the house, and it stinks my room out. And I actually got home Wednesday night. Was it Wednesday night? And I was so bad, I actually felt quite sick. And obviously the next day I pull this drugs test, and it's this little machine, and you've got this swab on a bit of a plastic insert, and you have to swab your mouth round for 2 minutes, and it tastes absolutely awful. So I'm sitting there for 2 minutes, and all in my cheeks and under my tongue and on top of my tongue, and I'm like, oh, I had enough there. And of course, as you build the saliva up, the temptation there is to swallow it. But of
Oh
course,
yeah.
the saliva's been all around the swab, so you end up tasting the swab, and it's horrible. And I'm swabbing around, and I say, "Oh, it must be 2 minutes now," and he goes, "Nope, we've got another 54 seconds to go." I'm like, "Oh no!" So I keep swabbing, and then he puts it in the machine, and it tests for 8 different drugs. And I've got to be honest with you, I'm so naive with drugs. Some of them I never even heard of. But obviously 7 of them I knew for a fact I would be clear of them because they're drugs I've never touched ever, never been in contact with. And those ones, it tests within about 30 seconds and done, negative. The one that takes the full 8 minutes to test is the cannabis one. And I kept saying to him, yeah, look, I'll be honest with you, there's a possibility it might pick some up. Haven't been taking it myself, but anyway, we wait about 8 minutes and all of a sudden it comes beep, negative. I'm like, oh, thank God for that. Because if I'd have tested positive, even though I'd given an explanation, they would have had no option but to suspend me. So I was just so happy that it came up negative. But it was a really long 8 minutes waiting for it. Really, really long. So yeah, so I'm happy with that. But it was quite fun. Because I got breath tested again on his. He goes around nearly every morning now with his breath test thing. So, but he does everybody. So we've got no cause. We can't say we're being picked on. So
When he asked you to speak to this into this machine, you should have said, right, okay, we're doing a new
yes,
alcohol
yeah.
test.
Well, the way I see it is I only object to the first time he did it because he didn't tell me why. Subsequent times, if I see him walking around with, it looks like a dictaphone. When you see him walking around with that, you know what it's for. So he doesn't really need to go up to you and go, I want to do a. But it's quite funny because you've got drivers, and I'm probably one of them. They can talk all day long about absolute crap. But as soon as you put a machine in front of them and say, talk into this, they're like, don't know what to say. But what I do now is he'll just come up to me and he'll go, can you talk into this? And I'll just go, and he'll go, thank you very much. But I sort of funny. You get someone who can talk all day. As soon as you say to them, speak into this, they're like, oh, I don't know what to say. And he's like, thank you very much, that'll do.
Yeah, it's when you first done it, it would be nice. Right, okay, I've got a new. Hi guys, I got a new device. You have to blow,
Yeah.
put the tube on, explain to them, and just, if he explained to them,
Yeah, it almost sounds deceitful, doesn't it, the first time?
yeah,
I would say I never have a problem with being tested. The only people who I think have a complaint are the ones who are like to fail it. So
oh yeah, it's a bit like, well, with this new machine, why can't they fix it to the bus basically? Every time you get on the bus, before you drive off,
they
yeah,
do
this.
a Stagecoach. Stagecoach has sorry, not Stagecoach, National Express. They have a little tube, and you cannot start the vehicle unless you've given a negative sample. It's quite interesting, that one.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah, apparently in the past they've had agency drivers and they can't start the bus up because they've been drinking the night before. So
either someone was actually driving a stagecoach bus, and either they must have been drinking. They actually shunted a car from one side of the road to their side of the road.
really,
Yes.
wow.
and this car was parked.
Wow.
The amount of damage, you couldn't open the back door up. Actually, no, you couldn't open front or back of the car up.
Wow.
And you was plenty lucky the petrol pump wasn't even not too close to the road. They actually shunted the car across the road onto the forecourt of the garage.
Wow. Wow. In all fairness, high-speed crashes in buses are quite rare, aren't they? Dave Mills says that should be in cars. Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that.
Well, yes.
But yeah, because it's easily done, isn't it?
And if they tie system into the police, and if you give a blow, basically, right, police pop round and say, right, okay, I'm sorry, sir, you're getting one penalty point.
Yeah, that's actually quite an interesting one, because if you blew positive in the car and it automatically alerted the police, is that a bad thing? Would it be better just to have the car doesn't start?
Good question.
I must. I mean, I don't touch anything when I drink, when I drive. But if I knew my car doesn't start, well, I don't know. See, because I've been like, well, I had a drink last night. I'm not sure if I can drive this morning. So let's play it safe and I won't drive. Now, if I had a little tube in my car that wouldn't start my car unless I was under the limit, then I might then say, well, I had a drink last night. I'm not sure if I'm safe to drive this morning. I know I'll jump in the car. I'll give a breath sample. If it doesn't start, I'll have to find an alternative method.
Oh, yes.
So if that's then going to be sent to the police,
I would say if it reads a certain limit.
right? So if I don't know what the limit is, but if it read over, say, half the limit, it would. I mean, obviously, it'd have to warn you, and it'd say, right, warning, you are over the limit. Do not proceed. If you then proceeded, it could that would be okay. Because the thing is, you've got drunk in charge of a vehicle and drink driving. If you actually just, I don't know what the law's like in other countries, but in the UK, if you enter, apparently just having your keys on you actually while being drunk is an offence. But if you got into the driver's seat, then and you're drunk, that is an offence. You can get done for drunk in charge of a vehicle, which is not the same as drink driving. But I nearly got caught out with that one years ago.
I think you can be drunk in charge with a vehicle if you've got the keys in the ignition and you're in the passenger side.
No, you just got to have the keys. You haven't even got to have the keys in the ignition. Because I got this explained to me by a policeman when I went to my car to get some tobacco out of the glove box, and the only way I could get into my car was the driver's side, because the doors, the locks were busted. It was like central locking, but central locking didn't work, and you could only manually open the driver's door. You'd then have to reach in and unlock the doors from the inside. So I had no option but to go in through the driver's side.
Right.
So I could have actually got done for driving, blah, 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 drunk in charge of a vehicle. But apparently just having the keys in your hand is classed as in charge of a vehicle. So if I just got in, blew a breath sample, it says you are negative or positive for alcohol, and then alerted the police, I'd be a bit peeved off with that, because if I got in a car and it blew positive, I would then go, right, I can't drive. But then if I'm totally plastered, would I go, oh, I'm not safe to drive, I think I'll get out? Because people do some daft things when they're really, really drunk, don't they?
Yes, it's probably if you caution under the limit, it might say, right, okay, I advise you not to drive. Do you want to proceed? Where you,
No, I would
let's
agree.
say you got if you well, it's 2 units sort of thing, isn't it, or 3 units?
Yeah, no,
If you probably 2.5 units, say right, okay, caught warning, cautious. But if you below the limit and you keep on turning the key, you think, why won't this start? Then it'll definitely say, right, okay, send a message to the police.
yeah. Well, see, I don't like that. I don't like that. But I like the idea of a car not starting if you're over the limit. But then what's happening? What's stopping you from getting your mate to blow so that you can drive it?
Yes, either you'd have to have it setting up where doors got to be shut and it's on the driver's side of the door. Only you can blow into it.
Yeah.
Or where it is where you got to be sitting in the car and blow into it.
Yeah, and
No
every
one,
time you've got these cars now that can tell, like if there's a passenger hasn't got the seatbelt on, the alarm goes off, doesn't it? And
yes,
if there's no passenger in the passenger seat, the alarm doesn't go off because it feels the weight down on. So maybe this breath test, if the weight is released off the seat for more than a second, you then have to blow another sample, and the tube is so short that you could only blow a sample from the driver's seat. So if you
yes.
got your mate to blow a sample and then get out
And
and get in, it asks you to do it again because the weight's come off the seat. How do we get from Terminator to putting the world to right with drink driving?
well, you started talking about drug tests, aren't you? And we've gone on to.
But that was really reassuring for me because, I mean, I've 18 years I've been driving. I've never pulled a drug test. I had one. I went for a job interview with First Group in Aberdeen, and they screen all their applicants, whether at interview level, whether you get the job or not. They still test you, but I don't count that because that was a routine test for job applicants. So I didn't get that job actually. Didn't get it. And I applied as a trainee driver with a full license because I didn't have my CPC at the time. So
It could be other people already applying for the job and basically had full.
well, I got offered to go
Bus
there
license.
with the agency, and I didn't take it in the end. But I could have gone all the way up to Aberdeen and gone, ha ha ha! I applied for a job here, but you turned me down. Now you're paying more for my services.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Well, actually, no. If you didn't have the license, of course, they would have to fork out for the license.
Yeah.
It 50-50 roundabout, though, isn't it?
What they do is if you haven't got a license, the companies will snap you up and they'll train you and they'll make you pay a training bond so that if you leave within 2 years, they can sue you for the money. With CPCs, apparently what people did with those was they put them through their CPC and then they buggered off and went and worked for someone else. So people don't take on people with licenses with no CPC anymore. But why they can't make them pay a bond? But how long can you make someone commit to a job for 200 quid's worth of training?
Well, it's been like your company where you earn a little bit less. But basically, they add your wage you were paying for the license, and near the end.
Yeah, but how long would you do it? If you charge them too much to make a short-term bond, you're not going to earn much wages. if you make them pay less per week, then the commitment's longer. You know, do you want to work for 6 months for someone? You know, a job that you don't know if you'll like, if for the sake of 200 quid.
Yes.
So with the drink thing, Dave says cars not starting. Why waste police time?
Well, yes. Yes. Or if they're well over the limit, basically, and they're trying.
Yeah. All the doors lock and alarms go off.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yes, no. In the end, I took a week off and spent every penny I had and got my own CPC. And I actually got a job before I'd finished the CPC. I went for a job interview. Company does that with your first training care course, right? So they put you on the course and then they make you commit to the job for so long. That's fair enough. I don't see anything wrong with that. If the company's going to be good enough to fork out for the training, they should be able to put some kind of protection in place, because otherwise what's stopping you from working for them while you're training? And as soon as you're finished, then you bugger off and work for someone else. With me, I mean, I already came with a license, but they did have to commit to 2 weeks training doing the route learning. But then I already knew some of the routes, so I was doing. In fact, actually, by the end of the second day, by the time I'd started the second day's training, I'd done more overtime than I'd done regular hours, which was a bit of an alarm bell, really, wasn't it? To how many hours I'd end up doing. But yeah, no, the job I got when I did my own CPC, I actually went for a job interview before. Well, I actually emailed them. I said, I'm looking for work. I said, I haven't got my CPC, but I am getting it. And they interviewed me and they actually said on the spot, obviously, we can't do that. We can't take you on now. But you say you're doing your CPC next week. You'll be finished on Friday. What about if you come in Saturday, do some route learning, and then start on Monday? So I'm like, fantastic. So, and I actually did some route learning on the Friday. So, but yeah, that was good company I worked for them. That was Redline in Aylesbury. If anyone's in Aylesbury and they're looking for a job, I would recommend Redline, because if you work hard, he will really look after you. So, and if you're non-Muslim, you'll get loads of overtime during Ramadan, because they got a lot of Muslim drivers and they take time off. So there's so much overtime going. So
Right. Go on track for what we're doing for the next week or so.
Yep.
Sunday you might do a live stream. You don't know at the moment.
yeah,
It's pence them up at the moment. You might be doing one.
might be.
Monday will be Chris Camplin.
Chris Campbell, yeah.
Wednesday will be Chris Davies.
Tuesday. You say
Sorry,
Tuesday? Yeah.
Tuesday.
Yeah, so I believe he's
Doing the
got
Jag.
his Jag now.
Yes, I believe he's got his Jag.
Yeah, we know it's been paid for. So
Wednesday it's going to be Fleetwood.
yeah, I haven't confirmed that with him. I meant to. I don't know if he's watching now, but in fact I'll message him now. Because I forgot. I meant to message him before, and I forgot. So if I can find. Whoa. Right, message sent. Right, so yeah, Wednesday we think is going to be Fleetwood J's channel, but that's to be confirmed. Thursday is going to be a nothing day, so if anyone's doing anything.
Yes, because Water Wayne was last Thursday, so
yeah, and
that week. Well, next week you'll be working on late, so
There'll be no.
I've done my 2 issues at the moment, so
So
I'll
we
be on.
we timed that well then, haven't we, Adrian? With the um no issues, haven't we?
Yes,
Because
that's what my plan was.
yeah, one of your no shows is a week when I'm working anyway. So
Yes.
yeah, that's perfect. So when the following week we'll have a double episode. The following week after that, I'll be off, or I'll be able to stream, but you won't be streaming anyway. Then that brings us to the fourth week when she will stream, and then the following week I'll be off again. So
Yes.
yeah, it works out really well.
So I'll be probably doing a stream probably middle between Christmas Day and New Year's Day.
Okay, are you going to be?
That's if 2 issues come in though.
Yes, yeah. I still don't know what's happening with Harshette, and I think there's going to be nothing because last year, I think last year was mainly because they'd fallen behind with subs, and it gave them a chance to catch up. But last year they didn't have anything over Christmas, and this year they're moving warehouse, so I think is a really good reason for them to not have issues. And it wouldn't be a total shock if they went fortnightly for a couple of weeks for that.
Or if they did, it would be nice to information in the issue, the date of, and then people telling at the shop like, my issue, where's my issue? And
Yeah,
everyone get moaned at, and the shops have to phone up.
I just think it's a coincidence how they've got a warehouse move at Christmas time, and funny things happen. And I've got to be honest with you, probably for the average person, the last thing on your mind right now is part works. And I bet there's a lot of people doing the part works that if it did come out over Christmas, they'd just chuck it on the shelf and worry about it in the new year, because obviously Christmas is the big one, isn't it?
Yes.
So there's probably a lot of people at Skin, and I bet there's probably a few people down news agents who aren't collecting their issues, and then they'll collect them all after Christmas. So not good for the news agents, but by the time you got sort of issue 100 of the Route Master, your news agent sort of knows and trusts you. Because W.H. Smiths for me now, if I know if I've got my subscription issues in, then I don't prioritize going to W.H. Smith's. And if work is busy and I can't get the chance to get away, I'll leave it, and I'll go in the next week and I'll get 2 issues. Excuse me. I'll go into the shop next week, pick up 2 issues, apologise for not coming in the last week, and they'll just go, "That's all right. We know you. We know you will be in." So yeah.
Well,
But they've known me now for 95 issues.
well, yes, you've always come in. You've now
Yeah.
you've mentioned them. You've changed your schedule basically. They know you're doing another issue from through the post sort of thing. So
Yeah.
as long as you speak to the shop, they're
Yes.
happy. As long as instead
Yeah.
of you not
Yeah.
turning it for the next 3 weeks.
It's when you get someone who starts a magazine, they pay their three weeks deposit, then they come every week for about 10 weeks, and then they don't turn up for 3 weeks. Then they're like, what do we do? Because we now haven't got the money paid for this 4th issue. We've only got 3 weeks. You're not worried about
Yeah.
3 weeks because they've got the money for it, but it's that 4th week. So if you haven't collected the 4th week by the 3rd week, they cancel the sub. But with me, they won't, because they know me. Although I never let it go 3 weeks anyway.
Well, I almost had to leave it for 3 weeks because I went on a holiday. So I actually said
Yeah.
to them, "Look,
But you probably said
tomorrow,
something beforehand.
yeah,
Yeah, they know with me. There'll be about 1 week in 4, 1 or 2 weeks in 4 where I'll get. There you go. Dave Mills says his are getting stored till the new year. Yeah, I just think for the majority of people, part works is the last thing on their mind right now. They've got so much other stuff to worry about with Christmas. Once they get Christmas out of the way, then yeah, back to part works. And I reckon that'd be a good time for people, because they'll have this week of Christmas, then they'll have a few days of the New Year, and then they can do a bit of binge building on the part works. So once the kids go back, get rid of them. My newsagents is great. They'd rather you go into them than get it sub. Yeah. Obviously, they don't make any money if you sub direct from a Hachette, and I only sub for the free gifts, but I like, well, with the Route Master, what tends to happen now is that you get a couple of issues from the newsagent, then you get your subscription come through, so you get a couple of weeks ahead. Once I'm a couple of weeks ahead through the subscription, I then know for sure that there's going to be a show coming up. We have had one show cancelled, haven't we, because I had no issues.
Yes,
So
we can do it, yeah.
yeah, but I've got to be honest with you, with a subscription, once I've got the final free gift, I really don't care about the sub, and I quite like going in the shop actually. There's a little bit more into that. I think my postman's getting fed up with me now anyway, with all the electronics and the sub and the magazines I get. I think you could do with a break as well. So
Yeah, it depends. Nothing. It depends if we get a part as Hachette's moving warehouse. Are we got? Is the subs going to be delayed, or they planned it after sent out the issues?
yeah, I wonder if they're going to be a bit more streamlined. That's why they're moving. But didn't another part work move warehouse recently? Was it Eagle Moss or D'Agostini?
I don't know.
Do you think they might be moving to the same place?
I think you find D'Agostini and Hachette use the same dispatch company.
Right. So
But
do you,
the issue for my Terminator is coming in a different package.
well, I don't know if it's where it's dispatched from, but the return address on my Millennium Falcon is South Brent, TO10, wherever that is.
I know exactly where it is.
Right. So what's the return address on Hachette?
Somewhere else, not South Brent.
Right.
They might have their own like depot returns.
Right. Okay.
It could be a distribution center basically disputes them all,
Right.
and it could they have returns basically is another office basically where they probably comes in, examines it. Right, okay, that's complete. That's not opened. Then send.
Right.
Then
So
probably put them.
when they say to you, when you ring them up and say I've got a faulty issue, and they say send the issue back, do you think they'd now be in a better position to go? You haven't sent that issue back, so we're going to charge you for it.
Could be, yes.
So yeah, I wonder how much money they're losing through, should we call it dishonesty?
The only way to know, because I have another magazine from D'Agostini, and that wrapping is the same one as was Hachette.
Right. Oh,
We will only know if the all packages actually get back to the same return address.
yeah. Yeah.
Because D'Agostini issues I get from them, part work, if unknown, it goes to this PO box number. And
Right.
it's the same as the Hachette one.
Okay. So that must be the customer care centre then. Because
Could be, yes.
I know that when you ring them up, you get the same people who you speak to about, well, Hachette and Model Space, they're the same. Because they freaked me out once when I rang up Model Space. I think it was Model Space. I'm sure it's Model Space. And they found my old address on the system, and from the route master onwards, I've never used that old address. And I'm like, well, how did you know that address? And they went, you did cake decorate. And I went, oh yeah, I forgot about that. So they obviously she'd obviously pressed the button and accidentally gone into Harchette's system rather than gone into model spaces. So I know that the call centre is the same people. They just answer the phone differently. So
yes, it could have come up saying, right, this is Harshek customer or DXD customer.
Yeah, because we used to get that when I worked at Cover Plan. We used to get, based on the numbers that you dial, like you get call 1 for this one and call 2 for if your product is this, then press this number. It all used to come through to the same people, but it used to prioritize the calls, and we knew exactly what you were coming through for. Although sometimes you'd have a specialist, like Jarrow in Gateshead is a distribution centre, right? But yeah, used to come through to us, or maybe a slightly different team based on the options. Because I remember we had a fault with our system, where if you dialed a certain number, it prioritized it wrongly, and it used to push all the other calls in front. And we had some old guy who'd been on hold for about 7 hours, and it was only because it got to the end of the day where the calls he'd actually rung in the morning, and it was like, for example, when you press 3 to cancel, they'll put your call on a lower priority than sales. And where he'd put something or another, he'd just been badly prioritized, and all these other calls were coming in front. I say he was on hold for about 7 or 8 hours. But why anyone would stay on hold for that long, I do not know. So
it depends if he rang up the day before and been on hold, and
yeah, he might have done actually. Maybe he didn't have email, and he wanted it dealt with quickly. So, but yeah, that was not funny at the time. He was a little bit ballistic about it, as you can quite understand. Especially as they paid for their phone calls. It wasn't free phone back then. He was paying like local rate number. I think they refunded his call, sent him a check to cover the phone bill or something. But yeah, I had some funny stories coming from there.
Either what they should had, like, if they got 20 people and there's 2 people deal with, like, not priority ones.
Yeah.
They should have had like so many staff dealing with call number 1 and call number 2. The other staff dealing with call number 2 and less staff doing call number 3 sort of thing.
Yeah, but it's just like certain repairs where they had contracts with certain companies, and some of these contracts were like, no one will be on hold for such a length of time if they come, for example, Hotpoint, if they press the button for Hotpoint, they must not be on hold for more than 5 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever. So they will then change the system so that if you press Hotpoint, it will automatically give you a higher priority. Or it was something strange anyway. But yeah, they did sort it all out. One of the funniest stories I heard was just before the millennium, there was some guy had a computer, and his little girl had heard about how the millennium bug was going to get into the computers and destroy them. And she knew this was a bad thing. So she cut the power cable with a pair of scissors to stop the millennium bug from getting into the computer. And he actually rung up about it. And the first person he spoke to said it's not covered because it's malicious damage. It's not accidental damage. And obviously, I think it kicked up stink about it. And they did actually cover it. But It was only like you needed a new power cable or something, but I mean that was potentially really dangerous, wasn't it? Cutting a
Well,
computer.
yeah.
But I thought it was such a cute story. You know, Daddy's computer's going to get a bug. I know if I cut the cable, the bug won't be able to get in.
It depends if the cable's hot wired into the machine and
There
there's
was a
no plug on it, and it's a different matter, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it was the cable that goes into the wall. So, but I sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. All nearly 2 hours.
Nearly, yeah.
Right. Shall we wind the shop?
Could do, yeah. So I just had a little thought goes through my mind. Yep. Okay. So we've covered next week. We've covered the next issue, and we've talked for hours about not an awful lot. I think we've pretty much covered everything, haven't we?
Yeah, so I might be back between Christmas Day and New Year's Day.
Yeah.
That's if I have 2 issues. If I don't have 2 issues, I won't bother doing one.
Okay. Yeah. So this is the only drawback of Christmas, isn't it? You just don't know what's going to happen. So your next scheduled stream day is the 27th of December.
Yes, probably yes. Well, it depends how heavy people's head are.
Sorry? Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I deserve that. I did deserve that.
No, I'm thinking about people drinking a lot of money. Lots of.
Do you
not
know
timers.
what? I always say I'm going to drink a lot over Christmas, and I never do. So I'll probably get a couple of bottles of spirits and some Coke in, and I might just have like a weak drink throughout the day. But no, I won't drink a lot Christmas because I'm working Boxing Day. Just have a look. I am working. Where am I actually? I'm a little bit annoyed because, wow, once I've had, oh my God, I didn't realise it was that close to Christmas. After I've had my long weekend, my next day off is Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, which I've got those days off naturally anyway. I don't want to go in Christmas Eve because it's like really, 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 really busy.
So you could have a couple of drinks Christmas Eve.
I could have a couple of drinks Christmas Eve. I won't drink.
And you got all Christmas Day, then you got Christmas Day to sober up, basically.
I might push the boundaries a bit and have a drink Christmas Day afternoon, but I'm on an 8 o'clock start. I don't anticipate doing anything because I'm actually on a really long spare shift on Boxing Day. But the way we do it is if you work a bank holiday, or if you're down to work a bank holiday and you don't come in, you not only lose the pay for that day, but you also lose your loo days. So you will actually lose, if you've got a 10-hour shift Boxing Day, you'll lose 17 and a half hours by not coming in because you won't get your loo day either. So people do not ring in sick. Plus it's a voluntary day as well. No one chooses to work that they don't intend to come in on.
Well,
So,
if you don't feel well, it's always best to turn up. Then boss looks at you. Oh yes, you don't look well, really.
if
You
don't,
get sent home, then
you'll still lose your loo day though. So you might as well just ring in and be sick. But you've got to be really sick. You'll get people come in who aren't well, and the problem is it don't quite work like that in our place. Our work seems to have this attitude that if you're well enough to drag yourself into work, you're well enough to work.
yeah.
So depends who's working really. But yeah, I mean, it's not often I work Sundays anyway. You know, I go in spare, but most of the duties are covered. And then as for bank holidays, it's even rarer that I do anything. So yeah, I've got pretty much got a double shift on Boxing Day, 8 till 8, which is I won't be working till 8. Once the last bus has gone out, I'll be home. So I'll probably be on my.
If you're late to work, but that day, do you lose your loo day, but you still get?
If you're late, it depends. We have a ruling. Every shift has got 5 minutes sign-on time built into it. So you've got 5 minutes to go. Hello, I'm here. Can I have my duty? Thank you very much. That's 5 minutes. So you are allowed to be 5 minutes late. If you're later than 5 minutes, they can send you home, which is a little bit strict because if at Arriva it was an hour, if you're more than an hour late, they reserve the right. They don't have to give you any work. So, but with here it's 5 minutes, and was it Thursday they did send someone home for being half an hour late. So if they send you home, you would lose your loo day, and quite rightfully so. I'd have to back management on that one. You know in advance what shift you're working, and on a bank holiday, you've chosen to work. Why would someone choose to work and then can't be bothered to come in? You know, I hate 5 o'clock spare. I really do hate 5 o'clock spare. I hate getting up that early. I hate walking in the cold, and I hate putting the papers on the buses in the dark. But it's my job to. So I go in because I have to. Now, if I choose to work a day's overtime, coming on my day off, I would not pick 5 o'clock spare, because why on earth would I pick a shift I don't enjoy doing? I pick 6:30 spare or 2 o'clock spare, but not 5 o'clock spare. I just do it because it's on my route and I have to. So
Yes.
you know, everyone hates the really earlies and everyone hates the lates. The ones that everyone likes, which is the majority of the shifts, the ones that start around about 7.
Actually, someone like my brother always liked working the lates.
Yeah, I did enjoy lates when I was in Norwich because I didn't have to get up early. It was the only thing I could get up, because I always started between 12 and 1. I could get up at 10 in the morning, have an hour to myself. I'd be home between 10 and midnight and 1 in the morning, so I could get home and maybe watch half an hour TV, have a cup of coffee or something. Whereas when you're on 6 o'clock starts, you've got to be in bed, and the kids are still up, and something will happen, a car will go bang in the night or something, and it's just a bit awkward sometimes. And sometimes you might be starting at 4, and sometimes you might start at 6, and you know, the same with our shifts. You know, a lot of my shifts when I was on split started between 7 and a half, 7, which is why I used to get up at 5 in the morning every day, because I could get up at the same time. And if I'm on a later one, I mean, I don't mind getting up at 4. It's because I get up at 4 o'clock every morning, but it's just a pain in the arse, and I just don't like. In the summertime, it's quite nice walking to work at 4:30 in the morning, but winter time it's not so much fun, and they turn all the lights out. There's a road just around the corner. There's 3 roads between my house and my work, and the middle road, it's like a little one-way street, and they turn all the street lights out, and you have to walk down the middle of the road, because if it's bin day, for example, you got all these black bins on the path down a completely black road. So you either have to walk to work with a torch, and even if it's not bin day, sometimes they don't take the bins in, or there might be some rubbish on the side of the road, and you trip over stuff down there. So it's not fun.
It's a shame they can't actually have streetlights where they have a second bulb and there's a sensor. Someone walking past, then it turns that second light on. Give a bit of light in the streets.
But that costs money to install. The councils that have every excuse. to not spend the money.
It's something basically someone could design, and when they have to upgrade the lamppost, right? Okay, that light needs replacing. Then put them in.
But the council's answer would probably be, if you're that concerned about it, get a torch. So it's not a major thing. And to be honest with you, if it's one of the few times I don't. We have a staff bus goes that way, and I have to get it because sometimes I'm walking to work and I've got thoughts going in my mind and I'm enjoying the walk. And then he'll stop for me and I'll think, well, if I don't pick it up, then next time he sees me, I'll be like, oh, it's cold, it's freezing. I hope the staff bus comes and stops for me. And he'll be driving along and he'll go, there's Penny, but she enjoys walking to work, so I'll just carry on driving. So I always get it just in case. But yeah, sometimes that picks me up. So I'll walk down the road, he'll see me. I'll make sure I've got the high vis on. And he has nearly run me over once or twice. He goes, what bloody hell are you doing? I'm going, it's not safe to walk on the path. Too much crap on the path. So, but yeah,
Well, to me, I would actually, if I was driving the bus and I actually saw stuff on the way, think, right, do you want a lift or do you want to carry on walking? I'd actually check each day. And if you do want me, just wave me past.
Not everyone is like you, Adrian. Some people aren't as nice as you. You know, we've got a guy. He's a brother of one of our drivers, and he comes in really, really early in the mornings. And what he does, he waits by the bus stop outside the depot, and the first driver who comes out running dead to town will stop and pick him up. Well, I had a school bus the other day, and I pull out and I see him, and he's like this to me. And I wasn't actually going into town, but I was going that way past the depot. So I kind of felt morally obliged to stop and say, oh, I'm sorry, mate, I can't pick you up because I'm not actually going into town. But I didn't want to drive past you and make you think, oh, what the bloody hell's going on? Penny didn't pick me up. And plus he brings donuts in for us, so we're always nice to him.
Yeah, she's like, I'm not going to town. Well,
Yeah.
I used to walk to work and I used to always pass a bus depot.
Yeah.
And sometimes someone used to run in town, pick up the paper up.
Yeah.
So I used to button back down to the depot again.
Yeah.
Sneakily, I used to hop on, stretch the road.
Yeah. Oh, we had one guy. I've been doing the papers this week, so I've been asking who's doing the first Monmouth. Because there's an old guy at Monmouth. What you do is you pick up a load of papers off the bus, and there's a nursing home there for ex-veterans. And no, I don't mind going extra step for ex-veterans. I don't particularly like it if you use it as a reason. Oh, they're veterans, you know. If you're going to put it like that, I really don't care. But he pick about 20 papers up. And the first time he did it with me, I said, I can't let you have 20 because I only got 25, 30 on the bus. I said, but if I knew you were going to be here, I'd have put an additional 20 or 30 on the bus so you can pick them up. And what I do in the mornings is I normally put half a bundle of papers on every bus. But the first Monmouth, I'll put a full bundle on so this guy can come in and pick as many as he wants. He wants about 20 he wants. So instead of putting sort of 25 papers on, I'll put 50 on. So I don't mind, it gets rid of them quicker. Quicker I get rid of those. I really hate doing the papers in the mornings. Because I'm picking up these things when they're cutting into my hands and with the straps, and yeah, I could never work for newsagents.
But a particular bus route was a small bus company basically. You used to get some people like pick up 5 timetables. Oh, and then for my neighbours, I used to each time I think, right, I need another one. I like 2 or 3. I always only pick up one at a time.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just one of those things. It just you stop getting wound up about it. But a couple of things that used to wind me up was primarily those papers are for passengers of the bus.
Yeah.
So if you a lot of people come get like when you park at the bus station, they'll pick a paper up and then disappear. They won't use the bus. Now if you're down to a couple of papers, yeah, that winds me up because bus passengers ain't got them. But they'll pick up 5 or 6 and I'm like, no, you can have one. Because we get a lot of complaints off people. They got on the bus as a genuine passenger and there's no papers left. And there's people in the morning who aren't even using the bus. They pick up 5 or 6. And I'm like, no, you can have one. And if I see certain people coming, I'll grab the papers, I'll chuck them in the driver's cab, and I'll hand him one. So he can't take more than one. But the other thing that used to wind me up as well, people get on the bus, they walk straight past the paper, and then they pick a paper up as they're getting off the bus. So they'll ring the bell, you'll pull into the stop, they'll walk down really slowly, they'll get to the, and then they'll get off. And I'm like, pick one up on the way in. You know, if it's a matter of you want to get sat down before I pull away, I'll wait. You know, I didn't make a habit of pulling away, used to. But you know, you get people who couldn't walk. They used to get on my bus, and by a miracle, they discovered the way to run all the way to the back of the bus as I pulled off. But yeah, no, it's papers. They cause more hassle than they solve. But you know, if I had enough papers, anyone can have them. But why do you, if you're not even using the bus, why do you need 5 or 6 of them?
Well, yes. Well, this question is it just paper for the buses, or there's papers
Yeah,
around town as well?
No. We only have them on the bus. I think the train station have a supply of papers, but they put them in the big buckety thing outside the station, and people pick them up as they go in. But we have them on the bus, and but yeah, it's just the metro. So, and I'm assuming it's a Wales edition of the metro because there's an awful lot of Welsh adverts in there.
Right. So, as I say again, shall we close the show?
Yes. Yeah, we have waffled on a bit there, haven't we?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So, thank you for having me, Adrian. I really do appreciate it. And apologies again for waking up a bit late. I did see how many people were still watching. There's only 3 people, and I think
well, I did see 4 a moment ago, and down to 3.
So,
Thank you all the people who stayed on to the very end.
Yeah. Is that you just got a message, or was that me?
I think that was you, because I think I heard it from your end.
See, I thought I heard it from your end. So, no, it was you. Right. Okay, guys. So thank you for having me, and I will see you on this show in 2 weeks' time. But other than that, I'll be online again tomorrow on my show.
Good night, all. See you in a fortnight's time, hopefully.
Take care, guys.